Wonderful. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. We are absolutely honored to be able to do this with you all, and seeing all your faces has just warmed my heart, and hope it does so for the same for everybody. You being here today just shows how important it is that we're serving our neighbors in need of proving who they are. And I know that things have to look a little bit different right now because of all the circumstances. We want to make sure that we're doing our best to care for our clients, to care for each other, to care for our community. So just absolutely thrilled to see everybody this morning. For those of you who don't know, my name is Danielle Landel. I have the privilege of serving as the program coordinator here at IDignity. I did go ahead and I know Glenda couldn't bring these to me, but I went ahead and got a donut for myself. So grab your donuts and your coffee. Thank you, Dunkin' Donuts. And let's go ahead and get rolling here. We wanted to do this orientation for a few reasons. One is so that we can see everybody's faces. We certainly miss everybody. But more importantly, we wanted to give you a chance to ask any questions you might have during this time of social distancing, and kind of have an opportunity to connect about what IDignity is doing. We do like to start out each event with a moment of prayer, and today is absolutely no different. Today we'd like to invite Brad Sefter from Healthcare Center for the Homeless, as well as the IDignity Board, to lead us in prayer. Brad, thank you for being here and taking time out of your day. I know that those essential services, you are one of them, and thank you for caring for the homeless population while much of our community can't. So thank you. Ben, would you be able to unmute Brad, please? Or Brad, you can unmute yourself, I think. There you go.
Good morning, everybody. Just like to start off with thanks to our Lord, our God, for everything that he does for us. We have to thank for the adversities that are put in our lives, because it always draws us closer and nearer to him. I believe the Lord knows, well, I know the Lord knows this, and uses these times of trouble to focus us, to give clarity to our purpose and our paths. So I just praise you, O Lord. I thank you for the troubles and the joyous times that you give us. Lord, I just ask for strength, guidance for our leaders, for our health organizations, to all the people that are out responding to this pandemic that we're dealing with. Lord, I would just ask you to continue to lead those people, to guide them, that they would honor you and do your will when moving forward. And I ask the same for us as leadership for IDignity, as IDignity as an organization, and all of us as individuals, that we would continue to put you first in all our decisions, that we would walk in your light, that we would continue to praise you even through the hardest and roughest of times. So Lord, just be with us today in this meeting. Continue to put that hedge of protection around us. Lord, I thank you for taking my friend and to be with you. I miss Lo. We've lost a dear friend and a colleague and a great supporter of IDignity. Just thank you for taking him, and I'm jealous that he's with you now. So Lord, I just ask you these prayers and for your guidance, and I ask all this in your precious and holy Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Brad. So
Cool.
appreciate you starting us out like that. So a couple of logistics as we head on into the next few minutes here. You are all going to be muted to prevent any background noise. If you want to unmute yourself, you can do so. We do ask that you do it at a time that is open for questions. Otherwise, there are a few different features in Zoom for those who aren't familiar with it. If you put your mouse over the screen, you're going to see a thing for a chat. If you click on chat, you can actually ask a question in there or make a note. You'll see a couple people are having a conversation right now. Ben will be moderating, so he'll keep an eye on those questions. He can also unmute you if you can't figure out how to do that when we cover your questions towards the end. So we're going to get rolling here. While we don't have an event today or this month, we do know that there's so many people that make this happen every month. So we do want to honor those people who otherwise would be helping us out. Beyond obviously our small staff, we have all of you, this massive group of volunteers, but we also have a lot of organizations that help us out. The Salvation Army lends us their space every month. Right now, I know that they've actually set up a temporary tent shelter right now to help out our population. So we do want to thank them for all that they're doing. Your transportation typically helps us out with a van and driver, and City of Orlando helps us out with parking. Orlando Health brings our supplies back and forth, and I know that they're going through a lot with this pandemic right now too. So we do want to thank all of our partners in that. This month we had Iberia Bank scheduled to sponsor our event, and regardless of the fact that we're not having one this month, we do want to thank them for their support. And frankly and honestly, we're all just a little bit disappointed that they couldn't come and volunteer with us, because they always bring such wonderful volunteers, but we do hear that they'll be joining us for a later date. So thank you so much, Iberia Bank, for being here, and I know we do have one of their representatives on here as well today, so thank you. And then there's a lot of people who volunteer behind the scenes. So I do want to invite Michael Dippy. Brad Sefter mentioned that Lo Phillips has passed away. So I do want to invite Michael in to say a little something about who Lo was and introduce you to this wonderful man.
Yeah, thanks, Danielle, and really great to see everyone's faces. I mean, the volunteers, this organization was founded and run by an all-volunteer staff for the first 2 years, and the volunteers are really the heart of the organization and the root of what we do, and just great to see the root so healthy, even in these troubling times, challenging times. But as Brad said, the perseverance will make us stronger, make us better. Just really neat to see all y'all smiling faces, and we'll continue to look for opportunities like this to engage with you. But as you now heard, and I heard before, we did lose one of our core volunteers. Lo Phillips passed away last Friday. Not sure of the exact details, but I believe it was he was recovering from cancer, and I believe that he just did not fully make that recovery. And already miss him. For those of y'all that didn't know Lo, just one of the happiest, but also one of the most loving of God people I've ever met, and not just loving God himself, but wanting to make sure that everyone else loved God. He started volunteering with IDignity back in January of 2009, so probably about when we were about 6 months old. He came on board and just loved serving the clients, but then he wanted to do even more, and so he wanted to serve the organization, and asked to be on the board of directors to help lead the organization, and served very faithfully there, and was just always looking for, how can I help? Not just how can I help the clients, but how can I help IDignity, and not just how can I help IDignity, but how can I help you, Michael? And I'm sure it wasn't just me. He just always wanted to help, and just had that kind of heart, and I just miss him greatly. Just a great man. Fortunately, he was also on IDignity's very first video, and so we were able to capture that, and I was able to share that with his family, and talk to his daughter last night, who is just as joyful as Lo, and she wants to, as soon as possible, get involved with IDignity and kind of carry on Lo's legacy through that. And IDignity has the great honor of Lo's family has asked that in lieu of flowers, the donations be made to IDignity in honor of Lo's passing, and so they're spreading that. And if anyone here wants to take that opportunity, certainly just go to the IDignity website and just do in memory of Lo Phillips. So that's really all I have to share regarding that. But once again, just know how important each of you all are to this organization and to me, and I thank you.
Thank you, Michael. This orientation is going to look a little bit differently, but we wanted to keep a couple of our key things. We always try to start out our orientations going back to the start, right? Going back to our mission and our values. And none of that changes in the midst of having to switch up the way we're serving. It doesn't change how we serve or the manner in which we serve, right? So IDignity's mission is to restore dignity and hope by assisting individuals in reestablishing legal proof of their identity. And IDignity depends on you to exhibit these values: dignity, excellence, stewardship, empowerment, compassion, and justice. And today I have a challenge for everybody. And the question is, how can you exhibit these values in the midst of social distancing? It's a little bit harder when you can't shake somebody's hand, or when you can't hug them, or when you can't be within 6 feet of somebody. But could you empower somebody through a phone call? Or can you show compassion by listening to a friend who's going through a rough time while being alone? Can you live with excellence even while not being able to go out and live life as we normally do? So that's my challenge. Even though we can't do a challenge to serve our clients, I think we can serve our community in these same values that we hold at our events, and as we typically serve. We're just serving each other in a different way, right? Because life is certainly different. Moving on into announcements here, obviously, due to COVID-19, we're doing this a bit differently. As many of you know, we do serve a lot of individuals who are living in poverty or who are homeless. And our community is doing its best to rally around these individuals to provide the resources they need. Shelters are expanding their services. There's an emergency shelter tent at Salvation Army. OURM, Orlando Union Rescue Mission, is doing an overnight emergency shelter, and the coalition is staggering meals to help prevent people from interacting from each other too much. There's going to be a shelter for quarantine that's going to be announced sometime this week, and so we'll keep you guys updated just so you're aware of what opportunities there are. We're keeping everybody updated through our Facebook page, and I'm sure Ben will be sharing that information as soon as we hear any of those details. Please keep our clients in your prayers. I know it's so hard to be stuck at home, but I just can't imagine what it feels like to not have a home to be stuck in. You know, you go to a shelter and you don't know if somebody next to you is sick. You don't know if you're going to be sick. You have nowhere to quarantine. You have nowhere to lay in bed and feel better. And so just keep them in mind. You know, or you lose your job, it was just keeping you out of poverty, and now you don't know how you're going to make it. You know, so do be thinking about them. I know life is hard for everybody right now, but I can't imagine it as one of the people we serve. And keep our case managers in your prayers, Brad Sefter and everybody else that's involved in serving individuals who were vulnerable before this and are even much more so now. And so just be thinking about them, keep them in your prayers, keep encouraging Brad and all the rest of the case managers. You guys are doing a great job. As far as IDignity goes, we are doing our best to protect our clients, volunteers, and staff. Many of our staff are working from home, obviously, as much as possible, and many of our in-office volunteerships have been postponed. We do want to send a huge note of thanks to the volunteers who've offered to come in or offered to work from home and do whatever can be done from home. I know we have one volunteer. Oh, the cat's coming. We have one volunteer who's helping answer phones, and we just want to thank you all for stepping up in whatever in whatever way is possible. There's my cat's tail, everybody. Is stepping up in whatever way is possible. I know this looks a lot different due to the extension of the CDC recommendations and now the statewide lockdown or statewide stay-at-home order through October 30th. We are also canceling that May event, so just so that you guys are all aware of that. Right now, the tax collector and Social Security offices are closed as well, so we really don't have any way to be getting somebody IDs or Social Security cards. We're doing our best to advocate for people who don't right now, and Tom's going to step in just a second to talk a little bit more about specifically what we're doing. But know that we're still doing all that we can. It's so hard. It's so hard, guys, to not be able to provide these documents. But we're still working, and I'm going to invite Tom up to talk a little bit more about what our legal team and program teams are doing in this time.
Hey, good morning, everybody. The first thing I want to say is I am just overjoyed to see all of you. one of the really great things about working with IDignity is working with all you guys, and we miss you. You guys bring so much joy and inspiration to each one of us, and I really just love seeing your faces, and I can't wait until we get back to normal and I can see each one of you, shake your hands, and just thank you for all that you pour into IDignity. We couldn't do it without you. Just a little update on what we're doing behind the scenes. We are still working. We still order records when we can. We still get mail, so we're getting records in. We're reviewing those records to make sure that there's no issues. We're helping out people that do have issues. When we see something come back and there's a problem, we're contacting the clients whenever we can. We're working with the government agencies whenever we can. And like Danielle said, we're still advocating. We still have contact with each one of the government agencies. We were talking with the health department yesterday to make sure that there wasn't any problems with people getting testing. So we are still doing a lot of work behind the scenes, specifically Glenda and Debbie, and we really appreciate everybody's help. There's been so many people reaching out to us to say, what can I do? And we're trying to figure out ways to keep you guys engaged. We still want to keep working on that and use our imaginations to try and find new and different ways for you guys to be engaged. So we will be reaching out to you when we come up with new ways. But one of the things I'm really excited about is we've added another attorney to the legal team. Her name is Charlene. Give a little wave there, Charlene. I'm really excited about having Charlene on board. She is super smart. She's super positive, and she's really excited about our mission and being able to help those who can't advocate for themselves and making sure that they have access to everything that they are entitled to in society. So I'm really excited about having Charlene on the team, and I can't wait for you guys to meet her. You are going to love her to death. Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you so much. I just want to say hello and good morning to everyone, and I appreciate the warm welcome. And this is just so amazing to be able to see all the people that support IDignity, all you volunteers. I know that being able to help an organization comes from the heart, and there are a lot of places you can go to serve and to donate your time. So I am so thankful to you, as well as the rest of the staff, that you've chosen to really dedicate your energy and your efforts to the mission and the purpose of IDignity. And we're so thankful for all of you. And I am so personally just excited to join this amazing team and help do whatever I can to contribute and to further the excellence and the success of IDignity. So I can't wait to meet all of you in person. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'd love to chat with you. I used to do volunteer work for the rescue mission, so Orlando is near and dear to my heart, and I'm just super thrilled to be here and to help continue the wonderful work that we're doing.
Thank you so much, Charlene. We are thrilled to have you on the team. It's a very weird week for her too. She started last week, or 2 weeks ago. So it's been a weird couple weeks of onboarding and training, but she's been a trooper and has just been so gracious with all of the changes. So we are absolutely thrilled to have you on the team. Looking into the future, guys, when this pandemic is over, because it will be, believe it or not, we will get through this, but we're going to be looking at a different landscape, and there is going to be people who need ID to get to work, because that's already one of the biggest reasons that people come to us, is they need employment, right? But let's have the story of the person who had a job and lost their ID somewhere in the process, or never got Gold Star, or whatever the case may be. Now they lost their job, right? And now they don't have ID. So there's going to be even a greater demand and need for what we're all doing once we get through this stretch. So hang in there. We're doing our best to prepare for this increased demand. We're going to continue to serve our clients best we can, and to build capacity during this time, so that when we're able to reopen our doors and reopen our service events, that we'll be ready to roll. So I'd like to invite Ann Taylor to step in. She's our Director.
Good morning, y'all. So great to see your faces. I heard this song coming into work today. It was, I just want to see my friends, and here you all are. So thanks for being here. In these uncertain times, certainly our fundraising is also uncertain, and the ideas we had are no longer viable, and we've been challenged to get even more creative in our fundraising efforts. As both Danielle and Tom said, we've been able to keep our staff on full-time, which is so wonderful, and we've been able to serve clients in creative ways. And we know that the demand for IDignity will increase once we're up and running again. So now more than ever, we need your financial support. We're going to be sending out some emails with specifics on what you can do to get involved, get your friends involved. So please make sure you're signed up for the IDignity newsletter. If you're not, just go to idignity.org, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there are some very easy instructions, and we'll get you up and running. It's super easy. I'm here, y'all, if you need anything, if you want to help. I know so many of you reached out to me, and you're making phone calls and getting involved. So if you're looking for something to do, just reach out to me. I'll be happy to assist, or maybe we can just chat. I'd love to hear from you. So have a great day, and again, thanks for showing up this morning.
Thanks, Anne. All right, orientation's real short, so we're already into the volunteer award, guys. We are going to have a few minutes for questions after this, but we wanted to do the golden ticket, and I don't have one here, so we're going to imagine the golden ticket in my hand here. But there's nothing more crucial to the success of IDignity than its volunteers and supporters. This award goes to somebody who's actually not present with us today for valid reasons, and is not often at our events, but who makes a world of difference in IDignity and our community. Dr. Raul Pino, you may have seen his face lately on, thanks Brad. Brad has a golden ticket he's showing. He is the director of the Florida Orange County Health Department, and he joined last year. This is actually the office where our Florida birth certificate team works at. You may have seen him on press releases or press conferences with the mayors, and he's definitely behind the scenes in handling a lot of this stuff as far as the testing goes and making sure we have the resources in our community. It's been an integral part of Orange County taking some serious steps to reduce this spread. We're honored to have him in our community and do want to thank him for the difference he's making. So we're gonna do a muted clap for Raul Pino just for his dedication for IDignity and to the clients we serve, and we do want to thank him for all that he does for our community. All right, I'm going to open this up for questions because I'm sure you guys all have some, and I've noticed a couple come through already in the chat. We're going to have Michael unmuted so he can answer them. The rest of the staff will jump in as necessary. If you have a question, go ahead and either unmute yourself or throw yourself into the chat. We'll keep an eye on that and open it up. I'll start with the first one I saw, and the question was, what's the story with the satellite offices? That's a wonderful question. Thank you, Vielka. And are they canceled, and what is the story? Michael, do you want me to answer that one, or do you want to handle that?
Yeah, Danielle, why don't you lead that since you help run those affiliates?
Perfect. No worries. I'll ask myself the question and answer it. So IDignity Osceola has canceled their April event, as well as IDignity Volusia. I think IDignity Seminole is still holding out for hope right now. I'm not sure what their story will be. Theirs is closer to mid-May. And so we'll keep an eye out about that. We'll be sure to share that information on the website. When you go to their page, you'll be able to see that information. So wonderful question. And we do thank all of them for doing their best to protect our clients and our volunteers as well.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand also, just for clarity, that these three affiliates that we assist are all their own 501c3s, all have their own board of directors that gives them guidance. But we do have some contractual obligations between us and them about how to function and how to do client care. So they do have the autonomy to make some of their own decisions, but they're certainly coming to us for guidance. So we are working closely with them.
The next question is from Kathy Omblet. Are client care days able to be open?
That would be no for now. Unfortunately, it's still too close of contact the way we've been functioning them historically. We are looking at ways to be able to serve our clients on an individual one-to-one basis with social distancing and possibly some other safety measures in place. We need to protect our volunteers. We need to protect our clients. We need to protect our staff. And honestly, the decision is a little bit easier because the government agencies aren't functioning right now, and so the tax collector is shut down unless everything's online. Most of our clients can't access the online.
Will get frozen.
It looks like we're having technical difficulties.
Also to chime in here, Kathy and everybody else, we are able to mail some documents to clients if they have a place, and so we have done that with a couple of clients, and Anne has been gracious enough to go and take a couple of documents to clients. So again, we're trying to use our creativity and our imagination to try and find new and different ways, and we will work with each individual client according to their need and according to our ability to make sure that everyone is safe in whatever process. So thanks for that concern, and we are doing our best to address that.
Yeah, and we're advocating too. So there was one individual who's up for housing, right? And his housing company said, "Hey, we need your ID, we need your social security card," and there's not much we can do. But what we can do as IDignity is explain the situation directly to that housing management company, right? Send a letter saying, "Hey, this is the situation. We're absolutely happy to help him as soon as these doors open and we can provide these documents." And so we are taking this opportunity to advocate with case managers and advocate with these housing or whatever other services there are to make sure that they understand that it's not the client's fault that they can't get these documents. It's that nobody has access to them right now. Next question is for Anne. How do you up your monthly donation?
Love that question. And those of you that aren't giving monthly, now is the time to consider that. You just go to IDignity.org. There is a donate button, and that gives you the option to put in monthly donation. If you're already a monthly donor, you can increase that by just going to that site and putting in a new amount. So very easy. Thanks for that great question.
Wonderful. Next question is from Hap. Given that once this pandemic is over and the new office becomes a reality, are there any plans being put forth to be able to create a workspace that can continue service to our clients? Michael, are you back on yet? Tom, you want to take a stab at this question?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, everybody, the reality is that once the pandemic is over, the need for client services is probably going to be very overwhelming. So we're going to come up with a plan to make sure that we engage as many of you as possible to handle the greater, volume. I can't really say a whole lot about the new office, but one of the dreams that we have for when we build the new building is for us to be able to serve clients much more in between events, because for a lot of our clients, waiting a week or waiting a month for the next event or waiting a week for the next client care day is inconvenient. And so one of the things that I've asked for in the new workspace is a place where we can meet clients during certain office hours during the week. And I'm really excited about that because that is definitely one of our goals. So thanks for that question, Hap. We definitely are always looking at new and different ways to try and accommodate our clients and make sure that their needs are met in as timely a manner as possible, because for a lot of people, they have urgent situations and we want to respond to that as effectively as we can.
Thank you so much, Tom. And Michael, welcome back.
Thanks.
Anybody else have any other questions? We still have a couple minutes here. You can chat it or just unmute yourself.
I do. Are you guys like making arrangements or planning on figuring out how to open up the offices now? Like once this is over, like setting up one of the empty offices for a meeting room to bring clients in on an individual basis at the current offices? I mean, I know the new building, that's our goal and that's our dream, but once we're up and running again, have you guys thought about that?
Yeah, at the current office, we are looking at potentially the downstairs area. There are other tenants that are in that building, and so we'd have to be hypersensitive about,
Yeah.
be all clear of social distancing.
No, I'm talking about after, I mean, right? I mean, we could have to social distance forever. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, but you guys are looking at it. You're thinking about that, and
Yeah, how to accommodate, how to function as IDignity if this does last for a long period of time. We might have to adapt more extremely than we're thinking right now. So yeah, there's a lot of thought going on in the background about how to meet our clients' needs and yet still the safety needs of our volunteers and our staff and our clients.
Yeah.
Michael and I were in a webinar yesterday, and one of the questions that I thought was a really useful question, it was, what things are you learning as an organization that allow you to even better serve the population you serve due to these limitations? And, it starts to bring up a lot of questions. How can we be serving even within these limitations? And what things can we learn through this that we can continue on even when things go back to normal, right? Whether it's social distancing or just back to normal completely. Are there things that we're learning about communicating remotely, communicating with our clients that we can bring into the future? I don't have a clear answer to that thought, but I think that we're going to discover things very, very soon that will really impact us for the better for the future, because we're learning a lot about how to serve from a distance.
Danielle,
Go ahead.
that actually was more the way Brad asked the question was really more in target with what my question was, and that was, were there thoughts given to the new design of the building that even though this pandemic may end, we could get another one. Who knows what the future holds, what we could do from a facility standpoint to still be able to serve our clientele, yet keep the safety. And so I think Michael answered that pretty well. Thanks.
Thank you for that clarification, Hap, and wonderful thing to be thinking about, because whether it's this or something in the future, the more connected our world is, the more stuff like this can be a thing, right? All right. Gail Paget asked, when the pandemic is over, will we have 2 events a month for a while? Michael.
I doubt that the government agencies, at least historically, they would be able to participate twice a month. Especially coming out of this, they're going to be even more busy than ever, and probably have a reduced staff on their own side, or taking care of sick staff. So unfortunately, I don't see that happening. I could see an increase in capacity at the client care day events or weekly events where we serve existing clientele, trying to pick up the scale of that and maybe being able to address some emergency new clients at the client care days. If we can find a new facility for that, that would allow us to expand the scope of that a little bit.
And I think too, there's things we can do without our government agencies. So as we discover what the demand will be, as soon as we can go back to any sort of state of normal, we're open to ideas of maybe starting birth certificates apart from the events, right? Starting these processes that don't require the government agencies, so that even though we're still only doing an event once a month, those individuals might be started earlier or whatever. So we're brainstorming a lot of different options right now. but I think Michael's right. I don't know that we could get the government agencies more than once a month, especially as they'll be backlogged as well. But we can get creative, and the neat thing about having to take a few weeks here is that we can start working on procedures and processes and brainstorming and really get creative. Tom had challenged us the other day. You know, this is our chance to really start to get creative. So if you think of ideas, let us know. Send me over an email, and we'd love to think about those ideas and come up with better ways to serve as we go back to a state of normal. Bobby from Iberia Bank said, thank you for inviting Iberia Bank to join on this call. All of you are such a blessing to our community. On behalf of all our employees, thank you for doing what you do. You're making such an incredible difference in our community, and we're proud to be a part of your efforts. May God continue to bless you and your families with good health and keep you out of harm's way. Thank you so much, Bobby. All right, any other questions? Otherwise, we'll get rolling here. All right. We like to end our orientations with a quote, so we're going to end with a quote. Today, in the midst of uncertain times, the quote comes from Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. May God bless your compassionate generosity. Please stay home and have a wonderful day. If you'd like to stay on and chat with people, we'll be here for a while. We don't have any time limits on this. Otherwise, if you have to get rolling, have a wonderful day. It was so great seeing all of your faces, and I can't tell you how much good this did for my heart. I know there's a lot of people who came in later that I wasn't able to say hi to, Omar and Gladys and Anna and Pam, and thank you for being here. We are just honored to be a part of this community with you. So have a great day. Let us know if you need anything, and stay safe and healthy. We'll see you on the other side of this.